Good morning, everyone. It's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. Thank you for joining me again on this Mystery Monday video day. So we have one full week left in celebration, and it is getting a little bit colder here again this week in Alberta, so I thought I'm going to switch up our project this week. I have a girlfriend that is leaving for Maui tomorrow, and I'm so envious, but I'm so happy for her. I know they had wanted to go last year, but because of COVID, they canceled their trip, and they did rebook for this year. So they are leaving for Maui tomorrow for a glorious 3 weeks. So that put me in kind of a tropical mood. So we are going to do a project today using the Oceanfront and Paradise Palms stamp sets. Now you can find those in the mini. Paradise Palms is here on page 25, so some beautiful tropical samples, and they even did one of the larger slimline versions with it, which is really neat. And it does come with some dies. And the Oceanfront is on page 39, and this is just a stamp set, no dies, and it's also known as a distinctive stamp. So what that means is that there are a few little imperfections in these stamps which give it kind of not a totally smooth kind of look when you stamp it. It gives it some really neat dimension and effect to it. So we're going to use that as well. And so this is what they look like. So again, the Oceanfront is actually a photopolymer stamp, and Paradise Palms is a rubber stamp, but it does come with these great dies right here. Okay, so I will show you our project, and it is this one. I did catch this on Pinterest, but I switched it up a little bit. I'm sorry, I can't quite remember who the artist was for this, but I love the color palettes that she used. So we are going to try to put this together today. So we are going to start with a piece of Just Jade. It's cut at 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. Now this is one of our retiring in colors that's going to disappear. It will not be in the new catalog. So if anyone really loves this color and wants to stock up on inks or paper or blends, now is definitely the time to do it before it gets sold out. Okay, so on top of this, we are going to put a layer of basic white. Now this was embossed with the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder, and that looks like this one here, very subtle. Here it is. It's a standard folder, but it has some great little texture to it. So that is going to be our background. So we're going to add that onto our base. Okay, like so. And now we're going to do a little bit of stamping on this basic white layer. So this white layer and the Just Jade layer were cut from the stitched rectangle dies, and the dies that I used in that are the second and third largest in the pack. So you'll cut out your Just Jade with the larger one and your basic white with the third largest one. If you're wondering what sizes I use to cut those out, and I will put all the measurements on the post after. Okay, so we're going to set this aside, and we're going to start with this white piece here. So I'm just going to bring out my foam mat, and we're going to start with this sort of ocean watercolor background, which is what I really like about this Oceanfront set. So for the sky, we're going to use this large image. For the water, we're going to use the second one, and for the sand, we're going to use this one down here. And there are some other great little grassy images and rocks and things that you can do. So we're going to start with this large one. Okay, so I'm gonna start the sky with balmy blue. Okay, so I'm just gonna ink this up. I'm gonna do this upside down. And depending how juicy your ink pad is, that will determine how dark your image will be. So I'm going to go with, I don't know if you can tell on this stamp, but the top is a little bit, you know, it's not quite straight as the bottom. So I'm going to put the bottom, the straight edge towards the bottom. Excuse my head here, but I'm going to go up towards the top here and just press that down. And that will be our sky. And I like how it kind of turned a little bit darker towards the top. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm just gonna change up my stamp. Let me close this blue. And then we are going to bring out our second one, which is for the water. And this one, I will put the straight edge at the top. Okay, and for this, I'm going to use Coastal Cabana. Now, I did re-ink this, so I hope this isn't going to be super, super dark. And I've got a bit of something on here. Let's just flick that off. Sometimes little bits of paper can get stuck on there. Okay, so let's ink this up. And it is a little bit dark, so I'm gonna just try stamping this off and see if I like it. Okay, so that's a little bit dark, but let's try lining this up here. And I'm just gonna press this down and see what we get. And there you go, there's our water. So you've got a little bit of a horizon here, and you can tell with those distinctive stamps. See, not all of it fills in. It's kind of a little bit of dimension to that, which is really neat. Okay, so there's our ocean, or our water in Maui. Okay, so let's work with the sand. So we're gonna take out the narrow one, and for this, I'm going to use crumb cake. This one I probably could have re-inked a little, but we'll see. It might be just fine for sand. Okay, so this one I want to, let me just think about how I want this to stamp. Do I want it like this? Yes, I do. Okay, so we're gonna have it kind of at an angle here. I don't know if I should do it. No, that way doesn't quite work for me. Although, I wonder if that's how it's meant to fit into these. Let me just see here. You can really do your sand any way you like. I don't know. Well, let's just do it this way. And I think you could probably stamp it in either direction, but this gives it a little more coverage to the right. And if it goes into the water a bit, that's okay. And then I'm going to do it again until I get sort of towards the bottom. Now I might just stamp this off this time so it's not quite so dark. And here you could flick it around, or you can just lay it on top for some different kind of look. Okay, so you've got some lighter sand. Now we'll do it one more time. I'm going to stamp off again, and then we'll put this towards the bottom, like so. So that will be our sand. All right, so that works for me. A little bit different, but every time you stamp this, it will be different, right? Okay, so now what I want to do is my palm trees. So I'm going to bring out this palm tree image here. And I'm going to stamp this on a piece of scrap white. You could stamp it directly on there, but like you can see, I stamped them and then I cut them out with a die. So to do this, what I'm going to do is ink this up with my sponge daubers. So I'm going to bring in my crumb cake and I'm going to bring in my Just Jade. You could do your palm leaves a different shade of green, whatever you like. I just chose this. I thought it was all right. So I'm going to start with the leaves and I'm just going to stamp on top. Now this is the way I like to do this if I want two different colors on a stamp. If you've got markers, you could color the images with marker. I didn't find that the blends adhered as well to the stamp, so I think markers are probably, well, would work better for this one anyways. So we're just going to ink up our trunks of our trees with crumb cake here. And then we'll see what we get. Okay, so I'm going to give it a little huff puff test just to re-moisten the stamp. And then I'm going to stamp this on the scrap. And there are your palm trees. Okay, so let me just close these so I don't get ink everywhere. All right, so then what I did was I took the die from the palm dies and I just lined that up and ran that through the die cutting machine, okay? So it came out like this. It was a little bit, there was a little bit more white in here, but I kind of trimmed that down just a teeny bit. Okay, so what we can do now, oh, and sorry, the other thing I did die cut out of here was some of the grass. So I used this longer piece, this longer die, and what I'm gonna do, it comes out like this, but I'm going to just snip it off just because I want a little bit of grass there. I don't necessarily want it to go all the way across. Okay, so now we can put this on top of that other Just Jade layer that we cut out with the rectangle dies. And we're gonna layer this on top. And this jade just makes some of these colors pop. I just really like it. Okay, so I think, yeah, I probably should have put my palm, well, it's okay. I probably should have added my grass and everything first because I might need to do some trimming here, but that's okay, we'll work with it. Okay, so now I want to put my palm trees at a bit of an angle because to me, it's always so tropical to see them hanging over the ocean. And you can put these as high or as low as you want. I'm gonna, I think, put mine here. So I'm gonna put these on with some mini dimensionals. And we will pop these up. I did do, obviously, some test stamping on the other side of this piece of white. But that's all right. You can always flip your paper over, right? Okay, so let's put these maybe a little bit higher here. We're gonna just have them at a bit of an angle so they're hanging over the water. And then I'm gonna put my grass here. I'm gonna just sort of cut a piece off to cover the bottom of those. So let me see, I think I will trim it to about, maybe about here. And then you can use this piece on another one if you decide to do a second card. So let's just put this on with some adhesive. And then we will just trim off that edge a little bit here. I think we can still trim that off fairly easily. But yeah, I probably should have done this first before I put my layer on, but that's okay. Actually, you know what? I don't like how that looks, how I put that down there. I must have put that down on backwards. So let's use this other piece after all. Okay, well, it's a little bit narrower anyway, which I like. Okay, so let's put this one on. I like this one better anyway. Okay, so I'll just put some adhesive here. And it's okay, I don't mind if that hangs over a teeny bit. I will just maybe trim this off here. Like so, it's fine. Okay, so there is our grass. And then I'm going to add a couple of our new pebbles. So these are our pebbles enamel shapes. Now, unfortunately, they aren't available for ordering just right now. The first batch has been sold out, but they are coming back, so you can still get them. I'm just gonna tack this down here a little bit. You will still be able to get them, and we also have some really nice sea glass shapes as well. These are a little scattered here, but these are pretty faux sea glass shapes, which are also really neat on any sort of tropical card or beach card. And these unfortunately aren't available either at the moment, but they will come back, so don't worry, they will be back. So let's add a couple of these pebbles. And there's different shapes and different sizes and 3 different colors. So you have a lot of options when deciding. And they are self-adhesive. So once they're down, they're down. They don't really, if you try to get them off, it just won't work. I found that happened to me, and I had to throw it out because I couldn't reattach it. The adhesive had come off already. So just put them where you want. And which other one? Maybe I'll use one of each. That would be good. Let's use a long one here. And they don't have to necessarily be side by side. They can be spread out a little bit like that. So those are really cool pebbles. And let me see now, I think I will put this on and then we can add our greetings. So I'm going to pop this up with some dimensionals here. And I'm going to put quite a few on the back, just so it is even and isn't sort of dipping in the middle. I love dimensionals anyways, so you don't have to use this many, but this way it definitely won't come off either, will it? Okay, so let's put this on our base. So our card is going to flip up like this. Now, if you wanted to do a landscape version, you could. You would just have to switch up your design, but I kind of like this one. So we're going to center that on our base, like so. I'd have to put a glue dot down there. And let me just do that quickly. Our glue dots. Just going to stick one under here so this doesn't keep lifting. It's a little awkward because of that branch, that tree trunk there. Okay. So now we have our greetings. So on this one, I made this a retirement card because wouldn't everybody love to go here for your retirement to spend some weeks at the beach? But this one I'll make into a birthday card. So I stamped this image from the Paradise Palms. It has some really great greetings, like wishing you a warm and beachy kind of day. Hope you find a little paradise wherever you may be. So I'm going to use the happy birthday from here. And I cut that out with the Tasteful Labels dies, which are these. These are great for cutting out greetings and layering different things. So it was this one here that I used. So I am going to pop that up with some dimensionals as well. And we will put that here towards the side. Now I don't mind if this hangs over. I'm going to hang this over a little bit. Now wherever you would like it, I think I'll put it kind of right here. And then I'm going to add just a piece of linen thread. So I did go ahead and try to tie my bow because I always seem to struggle with that, as you know. So I did that ahead, and I think linen thread is always so great for, you know, sort of a beachy nautical feel, or in the fall when we have a lot of, you know, fall type themes. I just love our linen thread. So I'm just gonna pop that on there, and you can cut the tails a little bit if you would like. So there you go, our Oceanfront and Paradise Palms cards. I just love the feel of these and wish I were there right now. So, as I said, we do have one full week left of celebration. It ends on February 28th. So, you are welcome to visit my website at christineludwig.stampinup.net. If there's still something you would love to earn for free with a $60 purchase, you have until the 28th. February host code is ASVHERK9, and you're welcome to use that at checkout. And also check out my Facebook, Pinterest, and YouTube channels, all known as Christine's Stamping Spot. I'd be thrilled if you liked my Facebook page and if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll find lots of other videos on there as well. So I hope you enjoyed that project today. Stay warm if you are in northern Alberta this week, and hopefully spring will be around the corner soon. So we will see you again next week. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.